Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday. We're always tired on Monday. Good morning, Jenny. Um, I guess that's like a universal kind of thing. But it's really odd because you think like we had the weekend.
Yeah, but our weekend was busy.
Yeah, we usually tend to be busy on the weekends. And Hope and I were just talking before we came on. Just there's not like a slow time of year, but we're getting into the busy time of year. So one of the things we want to start doing is um, planning further ahead, like the details of stuff out, so that it's not like, oh my goodness, the student retreat is this weekend.
Right.
What are we doing?
What are we? No, just kidding.
Sorry, y'all playing. I already have those printed. So anyhow, that kind of thing. We'll have to buy groceries, but you don't want to do that too far ahead of time because don't know how many are coming.
Yeah.
But students, it's kind of like that with most things. When you're having to buy food and stuff, you wait until just a couple of days ahead of time. Or I do. Might even go that Friday morning. Who knows?
That's what I was thinking. Like last summer, when like you had a student retreat, Hillary and I went that Friday morning.
Mm-hmm. Go down Friday morning and buy the stuff and all that kind of thing. I was looking. I think I have a free weekend in June.
That's so. Yeah. My free weekend is like in the first weekend of May, but yours is like the first weekend of June.
Yeah, first weekend of June.
Yeah.
I think. We hope that holds true. Pretty much has to be because June we hit camps.
Yeah.
And stuff.
So. That is the nice thing though. Like when we do camps, like we get back before the weekend.
Yeah, we get back Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Youth camp, it'll be a little bit later this time because we're going further away.
Yeah, but at least we have Saturday.
Yeah, Friday night and all day Saturday night.
Yeah.
And so if you invite me to something in a weekend in June, I probably won't make it. Yeah. Okay, that's all the weekends I got. We're excited. So yesterday was so much fun. We had Narcys and Jen, and Narcys. Their husband and wife. Narcys was born in, he's from Nicaragua, not just born there. He lived there until just a couple of years ago. So he's from Nicaragua, and that's actually where we met them. And I had forgotten. Well, first of all, it doesn't seem like it was 8 years since we've seen them. That's crazy when Jen said that yesterday. But I'd forgotten. So we met them. We went on a mission trip to Nicaragua. And we met them there. They were our guides and hosts and kept us safe. And I'm sure they didn't tell us this, but I'm sure that Vida Hoven is Young Life Nicaragua's who we're with. And I'm sure they told them, you can't let anything happen to them because, that's kind of bad for people to come and help if something happens to them. Yeah. And so they took really good care of us and we got to know them real well. I'd forgotten that they were engaged then. They got married the following week.
Wow. So she knows,
so when she says in an instant, she goes, I can tell you the date, because they got married the following week. So that was so cool. It was fun to hang out with them and reconnect with them yesterday, hear what God's doing. And it's funny because I consider them missionaries. So they were there in Nicaragua. And then when Young Life was kind of asking, I guess Narcys about going somewhere else, with them, he's thinking, Africa, no, those kind of things, like we always think, God's calling me to be a missionary. Oh, it must be Africa or somewhere exotic like that. And then they end up in the U.S. He goes, I never thought about that,
But I like what he said. What did he say? That one guy told him
that we need missionaries in the U.S. too.
No. Something, maybe that, but just something encouraging, like, like the U.S., like it's not just overseas. Morning, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis. Good morning.
But what I liked is, and this, like hearing when Ben Richardson was here, this was kind of the same thing, like, Narcys and Jen, their interests, she loves cooking, he loves soccer. They used that to build relationships, with these kids.
And funny thing, so and I thought about this because this is happening in our area as well. So Narcisse is from Nicaragua. Jen is from North Carolina, and I forgot to ask her where because your grandparents. That's so weird. So Hope's grandparents live in North Carolina, but they live on the southern border of the state. So Myrtle Beach is in South Carolina, but it's only 20 minutes away from their house because they live right there. So North Carolina is the state, but that just sounds so funny that they go to the beach in South Carolina.
Yeah.
But it's 20 minutes. Anyhow.
Squirrel.
Yeah, I know. Right? So forgot where I was going with all that. Oh, so Narcisse is from Nicaragua. Jen is from there, and they end up in Colorado. So, and she told me the name of the town, Lafayette or something, and I'm just not that familiar. The only places I know in Colorado are
Denver
and Colorado
Estes
Springs.
Park.
Yeah, Estes Park. And so they end up there, but they are like what is happening here. You'd expect it here because we're close to the border, but they have people from all over Latin America or Latin America. No, he said. So from Latin America there. So he's and we have this here. I don't know if you guys who live around here realize this. Juan Mendoza, who's planning a Spanish church in Alamogordo. And we see them as we're coming out of Walmart. Those girls that are selling the bottles of water, they're actually from El Salvador, and they got here. They're here legally, and while their paperwork is being processed, they can't get a green card yet. Which to me, that's such a messed up system. We get them here legally, and then say you can't legally work. What are they supposed to do? But I like that the girls from I guess girls are only ones we've seen from El Salvador. So what do? They say, okay, well, they go and buy cases of water, and they're selling bottles of water on the corners. I noticed that they do it differently than the places from people who are begging for money.
Yeah.
And so I thought, they're working, they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
Making money. But anyway, so we have people even in our small area from El Salvador, no telling where else. So he's from Nicaragua. He goes to Colorado in America and is ministering to young boys from Latin America. He's Nicaragua's Central America, but isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So it's really cool how God's doing that. And then Jen, of course, is right alongside him in ministry. So you mentioned he loves soccer, and it's funny he called it soccer because usually
football.
They call it football.
Yeah,
it's the original football, and so he's using that to minister to those, and they call them newcomers, because they come and we can kind of get this, and I mean we could even maybe be this way if we're not careful. People from other countries who come in, and we've got the whole illegal crossing crisis thing, but who come in legally, and we kind of lump them all together, so they're outsiders where they live,
right?
And so they're embracing them and giving them a place where they feel welcome.
Right. What I love is Jen said that she has like this cooking club at the school, which is I think is cool that they're getting involved in the school, and she has a lot of international kids too that are in there, and they, she said that they take turns like cooking like their native dishes or something, and that's cool to really just like really celebrate, like, oh, you're from El Salvador, you're that's really cool.
That's actually genius. And I meant to tell Jen this yesterday and forgot to tell her, but so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a coffee club. And I'm going to invite people from around the world to bring coffee from their place in the world for all of us to try. But isn't that genius?
Yeah.
So, and she said, papusas, I forget what she said that they're going to make next week. And she's so excited about that. But I thought, my goodness. So let's do that. And I love me some Latin American, Mexican food, Nican food. But let's also invite some people so I can get some Chinese food. And
it really her interest in cooking, and getting involved in the school has really, that's really cool that, you know, God has opened those doors for them.
And here's the best thing about it. I think of this when she said that, I was thinking about like with Nehemiah. God put on Nehemiah's heart to rebuild the wall around Jerusalem. Nehemiah was cupbearer to the king, which it has so much more than just what that title might think. He had a close relationship with the king, but even then, it was a foreign king, and you had to be careful, or you could lose your head. And so, after he prayed and fasted for 4 months, he went to the king. The king not only gave him like a long leave of absence to go and rebuild the wall, which is crazy because that's how you fortify a city, and that's the country that conquered Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did he give him permission to do that, give him leave to do that, but the king actually financed it for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's kind of, so what she said, Jen, this cooking club that she does at the schools, a teacher at the school got a grant to do this. So it's not just the school allowing them to do it. They got a grant and they're paying for whatever they need to do it. So that's awesome. That they're God just works in cool ways. So,
and I think one of the best ways to disciple, to minister to people is just, you know, doing things that you love, you know.
And doing life through Christ.
Like so, Ben, you know, when Ben was here, he was telling us that, you know, his interests are basketball and music, and I think there was like one other thing, but you know, he, you know, kind of like Narcys, you know, like he created this, you know, like basketball, you know, like where people come and play basketball games and stuff. And then with music, he, you know, just finds people who are interested in music and, you know, just, you know, like teaches them worship songs, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's really cool because it's, you know, like you really connect on a deeper level, I feel like, when you have the same interests, you know.
But that brings us to another thing, and you know, we'll flesh this out later in the year, but that God has uniquely, see if I can find it, fashioned you. That's a good way to put it. God has uniquely fashioned you for ministry. And, you know, you may think, wow, what do you mean? I like flying drones. I need to get mine back out and update them. There's a real ID thing we got to do or something like that. But I like flying drones. How can God use that in ministry? Maybe a drone flying club. I mean, you know, you have to have a commercial license if you're doing it for those kind of deals for movies or promo or stuff like that. But if you're doing them for fun, you know,
drone races.
We kind of did that with me and Michael. Yeah. He won.
If Michael brings his drone again, we'll do drone races.
I bet he will.
Yeah.
Ooh, Michael, bring your drone.
His is a lot faster than yours, though.
I know, because it's new. Even when I get a new drone, it's not it's not the new model. But, so need to get those back out and play with those. But you might think, well, you know, my hobby is stamp collecting. How can God use that? He can. I mean, you never know. Just realize God has uniquely fashioned you for ministry. Your talents, natural talents that you have, your interests, your experiences, spiritual gifts that He's given you. He's uniquely fashioned you, even your personality. All that together, God has uniquely fashioned you for ministry. And so, yeah, it's fun to see people like Narcys and Jen, who are just cool people anyhow, who are tapping into those for ministry. And we tend to do that a lot more when we go on a mission trip. We tend to do that a lot more. If you're a missionary, we just forget, like in life, that God has done that for us.
And I feel like some people struggle to make connections, you know, to disciple, to minister, but, you know, they don't tap into their gifts, you know, that God's given them.
Yeah. I was just thinking you could do a cricket crafting club.
Yeah.
Crafting may not be a good word, but
yeah.
I mean, can you imagine just and if you know what a cricket is, it's a CRICUT, cricut. It started out, they can do a lot more things now with the machines, but just with cutting vinyl. There are machines that will cut vinyl. That's where we get our logos. You did the logos for our vans.
We're gonna do the logos for the trailer.
The new little trailer. Well, I say new, but the little trailer. And so you've talked with people. I watched you when you were talking with Juan about that. You like get all
I
excited
know,
and
yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and that's something you love to do, and that would be a great way to connect with people for discipleship.
When I talk about it with Kim too, I get excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you and Kim, I mean, y'all
Yeah.
could get together and do cricket stuff
I think
together.
she's like, I want one so bad,
Yeah. Sad because we gave one away not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
We won't tell her that. Shh. No. But it's cool. That was really encouraging. Not just to catch up with them, but that was great fun. We got to go to White Sands and hang out yesterday, and that was neat. And actually got to meet a big group of friends. I guess is the best way to describe them. They all work together. I don't know what kind of company they work for. There were 15 of them, young-ish, probably upper Gen Z age, and so they were traveling. They just all took vacation together. They came. I don't know what they did before this. They were at White Sands, and then today they're going to Carlsbad, and they're going to spend a few days out there going to the Carlsbad Caverns. They're going to do the tour that we did. Do you remember that?
Like a long time ago, we did.
Yeah, it was the King's Palace and Queen's Chamber.
Not last time. Last time was rough.
Oh yeah, not last time. Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't. But the one that we did. So they're going to do that one. That's cool. But you never know. God opens all kinds of opportunities, for ministry.
You can have a talking club where all you guys do is just talk.
I have a lot of interests, so it's kind of hard for me. The thing that comes to mind when I think of me is jack of all trades and master of none.
Well, I was just thinking, wasn't there there was a caving club or caving group that would go out and go to different caves.
We did that. Now Ed Woten was really kind of the hub of that.
Yeah.
Because that guy, he had, I don't know the official whatever, but he had an inn. So I think he was some kind of certified guide for the Texas Parks and Wildlife, so we could get into those caves there. He also, with New Mexico BLM, Bureau of Land Management, so this dude could get us in caves that you can't get into otherwise, and would take us, and plus he knew everything. Just groups like that, Yeah, so many interests, things that you would be interested in doing. Now that I've lost a little bit of weight, I might be able to do rock climbing now. Before I couldn't. I was carrying a little extra baggage, but probably not. But any of those kind of things, the things that you're interested in. So that was a good reminder. It was encouraging, fun to see them yesterday, and just how God is working in them. It's crazy though. 8 years, they haven't changed a lick. I mean, I'm going, how can that be? Because I have. But anyways, it was way cool. That was that great time yesterday. Fun, encouraging. So if you think of Narcys and Jen, pray for them as they just continue to do what we all should be doing. They're doing it more in kind of a missions setting, even though they're in Colorado suffering for Jesus. What was funny, I love the story that they told. The first time that Narcys went to Colorado, it was at Christmas time, and Jen kept telling him, how wives tell their husbands things and we don't listen. She kept telling him on the plane, now it's going to be cold here, so you might want to put your jacket on before you get off the plane. Well, he didn't. And then they're in the airport and she's saying, it's going to be cold here, so you might want to put your jacket on before we go outside. And she keeps telling him these things and he didn't. And she said, open the door, and he took a step and just froze and said, I'm going to go back inside and put my jacket on. Because for him, in Leon, he was in Esteli, Nicaragua, but same kind of climate. I mean, it's hot. I mean, not 90 to 100 most of the time. If it gets below 90, they put a jacket on.
That's what I was just when he said that yesterday, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how Rainey and I started working on heat exhaustion that last time we were there, because we were outside in 100 degrees. But it was 27 degrees Fahrenheit. He said negative 30 some Celsius, but and so he had never experienced that kind of cold. He thought it's going to be 80 degrees or something, cold for him.
Yeah.
but she said that he's adjusted better than she has.
Wow.
And they were so glad to be here because it was snowing in Colorado where they live.
Wow.
Yeah, this weekend. But that was fun. So anyways, let me encourage you guys. Realize God has uniquely fashioned you for ministry. And so think about that. You know, the things that your personality, your interest, your gifts and talents, your spiritual gifts, all those God has fashioned together because he wants to use you in the lives of others, and think about how that can be. And I get excited when I think about stuff like that because I'm like, wow, so we can do things we love and use that in ministry.
Mm.
You know, it's not like I have to go dig post holes in, 120-degree weather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't enjoy that. That's not things I love. Some guys love that. I don't love. That's not my deal. But we can do things we love to do and use that to reach other people. So that's cool. So love you guys. Thanks for hanging in here with us on this Monday morning. Wednesday it'll be me and Jim, and
we went longer than Hillary and I normally do.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. The ones I'm in usually go a little bit longer.
Isn't that weird?
I have to find the common denominator.
Yeah.
There. But love you guys. Thanks for hopping in. Let me pray for you. Send you out into the week as we look forward to next Sunday. We're going to start our new series in really now looking out at our community. Who are they? What are they like? And what's it going to take to reach them? So you're asking me, I forgot this one thing on my plate. I don't usually, when people say, what do you got going on this week? I don't know. I have to get in Monday and look at that. I do know we have a student retreat at the end of the week. But I got a lead, and I knew this already, but was reminded of some way to get some good demographic information for our area. So that's what I'll be doing today, is making some phone calls, talking with some people, and getting a lead on some demographic information. Hopefully up to date. I think the 2020 census was a bust. Yeah. But anyhow, let me pray for you. Lord, thank you for the way that you use us. Thank you the way that you've created us. And God, we are the way we are because that's how you want to use us. And so I pray that, Lord, you would do that. Show us the opportunities around that you give us to connect with people and to minister to them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks for jumping in, and see you guys on Wednesday. Oh, Hope gets the click buttons for me this morning. That's pretty awesome. Do the little design thing. And
I know. Hey, we did this.
The whole time I was gone.
You were gone.